Welcome to my live stream. Okay, so first of all, first things, there's scammers out. There's scammers that will message you. They look like me. They've taken my profile. They've taken my profile pictures. They've taken all sorts of things. It looks like my reality awareness name, but it's not. There's slight differences. Please be aware. When somebody's constantly hounding you, it ain't me. Please be aware. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. They block me and then I can't do anything about it. So, okay, I've already changed it around. Just wanted to say that. Okay, if you're ever unsure, message me, but please use your intuition because it's a thing. So I'm going to do a little collective update, a little collective message, collective reading first. So if you've only got space just to be here for that, awesome. And then I'm going to do personal psychic readings on this live stream. So welcome. Welcome. Just going to share this and then we shall jump right in to the collective message. And I'm curious how you guys are feeling today. It's been a friggin' huge week of I want to say the come down from the eclipse, and then we have another eclipse on the full moon on the 29th. So just be mindful, we're in eclipse season. It's just going to be intense. It just is intense. So, and it's so interesting because the card that I pulled for the collective as I was shuffling fell out is about changing direction with ease. And there has been a lot of changes for a lot of people going on. And I think really this time of year brings about a lot of change. A lot of people are thinking about next year. A lot of people are, making or breaking. There's a lot of big changes that happen, from August through to February. It's this 6 months of the year is just such a transformational time. And I believe, and I'll share that in a minute. Hang on. Okay, this is part of the message. So let me just share this so I can be present with this. Because I've been sharing this with clients as well, this time of year. And that's when I did the collective updates in August and was talking about these pieces around that 2-week spin at the end of August, the last 2 weeks of August. And then first 2 weeks of September was like everything just dismantled. And then the last 2 weeks of September, it's right, this is the way we're going. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. This is all the places we're going. It's starting to get the grounding now. Now we're mid-October. Now the eclipses are coming in to go, are you sure? Are you sure you want this direction? Are you sure? It's eclipsing out any last little pieces that are just not needed and starting whole new cycles, right? So whatever was going on for you back in is that March, April cycle, right? Eclipse, sorry. It's whatever was going on for you around that time is really coming into a next level, a next layer of now it's really solidifying in and also clearing out any of the last little threads of, I call it. So I always look at it as though like cotton threads, like a piece of cotton, and it's just sort of it's a, what's the word? Disintegrating. Yeah. And it's all these little pieces are just letting go, but depending on where you're at in the different cycles, it could be actually snapping, and or disintegrating. So it's just little, big cleanup really in a way. So hello to everyone that's joining live. Hello. Let me know where you're from around the world while you're jumping on. My name is Hannah from Reality Awareness. If you guys don't know me, welcome. Welcome to my page. So just want to reiterate, scammers are out. They will copy my profile. That looks like me. They'll send you messages. They'll hound you down. Please just block and ignore. It's not me. I don't hound you. If you want something, I will, you can tell, right? I'll be hey, and there's no hounding. I don't consistently hey, buy my thing. I'm not in the messages, give me your credit card. It doesn't fucking work like that, okay? It doesn't work like that. Please use your intuition, for goodness sake. Right? And that goes with any scammer, on any email or anything. If it seems sus, it probably is, right? And if you're not sure, contact the person who you know is the real person. Beautiful day. It is beautiful weather here in Australia too. So hello from neighboring New Zealand. Yeah, big time changes, intense for you. Yeah, so let's jump into the cards that fell out as I was shuffling for the collective updates. So if you've only got a little time to listen to the collective message before I jump into personal messages, personal readings, it is here. So like I said, this fell out, and I think, oh no, it's not. So change direction with ease. This is a time for change, shape shifting, or your soul's evolution. It's time to reconsider what you are wanting. You may be in for a surprise. And isn't it interesting? I was just like, it's like, you know, we're really like, the first 2 weeks of September, it was like everything dismantled. And then the last 2 weeks of September, it's like, okay, this is the direction we're going. And now at the eclipse, it's like, are you sure? Are you sure you really want this? Are you sure? Because we're going to shoot through all these curveballs in. I'm like, are you sure? Are you really going to? Yes, I'm sure. And I want to say, when it says you may be in for a surprise, I want to say to you, are you getting really clear on what you want? You know, I did a reel a little while ago, and it was like, you know, the only reason what you want hasn't manifested is because you're not really clear. And the thing with like trauma or going through whatever we do in our life, and society is trained to not be clear on what we want, to not ask for what we want. And if we ask for what we want, we get in trouble because we're not allowed to want things. Society is trained like that, okay? So when you get clear on what you want, and I want to say a lot of people also don't know what they want, because when they've been in stuff that they don't want, there is a time and space when you've stepped out of what you know you don't want. There's a little gap, or what I call integration, of like just being like, okay, well, I know what I don't want, but I'm not sure what I want. And then there's a stage of like, actually, this is what I want. And then it's the courage to ask for that, to go for that, to hold that. And then all your like, you know, self-worth, belief stuff will come up, like, okay, well, am I really worthy of that? Because I've never had that, and all those pieces. You may be in for a surprise. It's time to reconsider what you're wanting. So I want to say, like, get really clear on what you're wanting. Like, what is it that you want? Like, we are in new moon right now. Like, it's the perfect phase. We've come out of dark moon. We're in new moon phase right now. And then leading up to the full moon on the 29th is 28th, 29th, depending on where you are in the world, is like getting really clear. And it's the perfect time to set these intentions. It's the perfect time to set emotional these things. And when we like work with manifestation or setting intentions or that sort of thing, it's kind of like, send it off to the moon and then I don't have to do anything. It's kind of like, then you take aligned action every single day. Every single day. You know, it's kind of like, all good to wish your reality into existence, but I want to say good luck with that. It's like, wish, then take action. You know, definitely dream big and wish, but take action on that. So then these two cards came out. So this is the first one. And it is this one, so back on task. Oh, look, I just said you have to take action. Be sure you are using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider reviewing your goals, your schedule, or a project you're working on. All could use some fine tuning. So it's like, there's been big changes. And I want to say, what used to work 6 months ago isn't working. So there's that 6 month eclipse portal time again, right? And eclipses really last for 6 months, right? It's sort of one every 6 months, if you may. So it's like these 6 month windows, these 6 month cycles that we can work with. And the thing with the moon and the cycles and even the seasons, like if you really attune yourself and your intuition to them, you can really like, exponentially grow when you are working with the seasons and understand these parts of manifestations, so that you can, like, it's like working with the energies and the cycles, right? So be sure to use your time in the best possible manner. You might consider reviewing your goals, your schedule, or project you're working on. So if you've been feeling frustrated, which I know I have been, because there's been massive changes going on in my life with my daughter hitting this teenage, you know, years, and now it's like everything's changed, and I'm like, how do I be the mum I want to be? How do I work? Because I can't work how I want to be if I need to be the mum to this beautiful teenager. You know, it's like, so I've been going through this myself because it's like, change direction with these, what the fuck's these right now? I'm like, there is no ease about these changes that have been going on right now. Like, no fucking way. Like, just not. I'm like, I don't do change very well. I'm like the teacher of change and the master of change and how to help people with change. And I'm like, I fucking struggle with change. Isn't it so funny? It's like, what we teach, we like most need to learn and stuff, whatever. Showing my hand. I'm fucking human, okay? So, back on task. Things need reviewing. And like, I've been so aware of this because I'm so conscious of like, you know, like, and I even said, I think it was probably about 2 months ago, I said to my daughter, because we were having like disagreement, and I was like, but 6 months ago, honey, like we weren't in this phase, like everything has changed, right? And so I'm just trying to figure out how we now do this. And so, you know, it's like change direction with ease. Okay, like, okay, I'm choosing ease from now on. Okay, I get it, right? But it is this process of like, okay, well, how does this look like in these new changes, structures, and phases? Now, I talk about this a lot deeply with like healing ultimately, and you can apply this concept to like absolutely anything in your life. And I want to say you should be, right? So we all know that, and I'm going to use a child as an example, but this concept of a child developmental timeline works. It's the same concept in a new project, in a new business, in a new relationship. Like there's many stages, okay, but let's just, for ease, there's 4 main stages, right? So there's like the birth, the beginning of the baby, right? And it's like from 0 to 7 years, there's like, I'll just call it what it is for this second. It's like all about the mum. And then from 7 to 14, it's all about the dad. And then from 14 to 21, it's all about like, I don't need any parent because I'm all good now. You know, it's like, it's like 1, 2, come together. I'm on my own. Like, I'm good. Leave me alone. We know what it's like, right? And then from 21 to 28, it's like this next sort of like, whoa, okay, what am I doing in the world? You know, sort of this next sort of phase. And it's like the total interdependence stage. And so these like stages, these 4 stages really are huge, right? Like we know in ourselves, like as a child going, you know, into puberty, like, you know, that was a huge thing for us. It's a huge thing for our children. It's a huge thing for, and it's like these different stages. So when we really look at anything that we're birthing into the world, whether it is a child, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a career, whether it's a business, there's like these birthing stages that you go through. And when you can understand these sort of rites of passage, if you may, it's like really honoring like that everything will cycle, and as everything grows, it grows and expands, or it can grow and contract if you're not consciously working with the stages of the growth and the stages of the evolution. When we're looking at healing from trauma, there's also these stages that we go through, right? And the different levels and the different stages of, okay, well, what does this space look like now? What does the relationship look like now? What does my business look like now? What, like, you know, sort of like, so this whole like reviewing everything is kind of like also look at it. And I know I've shared it with my clients, but I don't know if I've really shared it on a public live stream, but there's in the deck that's up there, there's one it is. I always forget about this. I shared this with my inner circle clients. There's one of the Druid cards that talks about, maybe I have talked about it here, talks about 7-year cycle. And at a 7-year point, it's like everything needs reviewing, right? Business, relationship, career, like all the things, yeah? And it's sort of like, you know, when we can really take stock, and when things are falling apart, as we know, we've heard the cliche saying, like it's actually coming together, it's actually bringing everything back together. It's not falling apart, but fuck, it feels like it. It's like, are we going to make it, right? And it's like, yeah, we are. And I just saw a post just before I got on here, and it was like, you know, going through one of the hardest years ever. And I was like, yeah, I concur, like big time, yeah? And he's like lost $1 million and lost all these friends. He's like, but I actually didn't lose anything. I gained clarity and wisdom around what not to do. And it was like, God made me stronger. God needed me to be stronger. And this is what it is when we go through these hard times. You know, it's like all these points that I've spoken about on timelines, or just anything that you're going through hard, it's a breakthrough point. This is like the next level of expansion. This is the busting through to a whole new reality that is what you've been creating and building, and why you've been doing this in the first place, right? It's like a child doesn't get to an adult by staying a baby, you know. It's like it goes through all of these stages and like learning about the world. And when we look at it from a business standpoint, it's like we're learning about, okay, like how do we do this and how do we figure it out? And then you find your groove, and then you grow, and then it's like, whoop, hit this next stage. And then it's like, okay, so for example, like a child grows, they learn to walk, you know, talk, you know, figure out the world. Okay, God, I kind of got an understanding of it, sweet. And then bang, just when they thought they understood it, bang, puberty hits. We're like, whoa, what's happening? They go in their cocoon. They're like, oh my God, leave me alone. Like we know in ourselves what sort of trauma that can leave, especially if we weren't supported by a conscious parent when we went through that. And then moving through that, it's kind of like, okay, then we get the hands-on, like, cool, I understand puberty, got a sort of understanding of it, bang, life happens, we finish school, I'm like, fucking, what am I gonna do? And it's like hit all over again. And you can see it's like cycle after cycle, breakthrough after breakthrough, growing after growing after growing, right? So for whatever reason, I need to share that. Tracy says, I was conscious of that every 7 years from 21. Yeah, it starts from birth. Yeah, it starts from birth. So I love this is a timely message for you, Ashley. James says it's rubbish. I'm like, what are you watching something that's rubbish for? What the fuck are you wasting your precious time watching something that you hate? That makes no sense to me at all, man. Stop wasting your time. Oh my God. So funny. I just can't comprehend. I'm like, why watch something that you don't like? Okay, final card for the collective is Adrift in Shallow Water. Take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. It's all gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. I'm gonna get through this. I don't know how, but the current is taking me. The current of my soul is taking me on a journey, and I am listening to my intuition every step of the way. I have no fucking idea where I'm going, even though I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be because I've followed my intuition into this point, and I know that my intuition is still guiding me into this point. Adrift in shallow water. Take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. Sometimes it's hard to appreciate the small things when we are stuck on the big things, and the thing that gets through this point, through the big things, is a big old fucking cry. Cry, cry, cry some more. I know, people are funny, right? People are funny. I'm just trying to find a card. Actually, I don't know why I'm shuffling. Because this Adrift in Shallow Water, like I love that Adrift in Shallow Water, and I need to find this card because I feel it's a message for someone on the collective or a group of you as well. And then once I finish this bit, I'm going to do personal psychic readings in here. I'll choose you guys. Please don't comment yes yet. I'm not ready. There's still a collective message pouring through, and this is part of it. And I love this card so much. I love this card so much that it went missing from my fucking deck, and I had to buy a new deck because I don't know where it was. And it went adrift on its own little wander somewhere. It's called the Adrift card, right? And this is in another deck. Similar message to the Adrift in Shallow Water, but I love this message. Very similar, of course. This one's Adrift. Letting go, allowing a higher force to take charge for a time. Oh, covered in goosebumps. We know what it's like to get swept up in an ocean current or a river current, and I'm covered in goosebumps as I say this. This is a really important message for someone. So you know how I said when we're talking about the change in direction, and then we're needing to reassess everything and see what we want, you know, consider reviewing your goals, your schedule, or a project you're working on, or could do some fine tuning, right? It's like change the way you work. What worked 6 months ago isn't fucking working, so hello, figure out something new. Instead of stop being angry, right? And so when we go from like what we don't want, and you know how I said to you, there's a space in between going from what we don't want, and let's just call it like a toxic, unhealthy, crappy situation, and then we step away from that, and then we're fucking lost. Like, you know, I've done a live stream before where it's like, you're not lost, you're recalibrating. Just the mindset shift, right? We still feel lost. Doesn't help us not feeling lost. You can still feel lost, but you can, it's that self-talk, just like I said. I don't know where the fuck I'm going, but my intuition does, and my intuition led me here, and my intuition will keep leading me there. Like, you know, it's like, we can still feel lost, but know that we are adrift in shallow or in deep water, and the current of our life is taking us because we made the choices to step away from what wasn't working, from what we didn't want, and knowing that our soul was out of alignment anymore, and that's why we left the situation in the first place. And then we're just in this place and it can feel lost. Your whole life has been dismantled. Everything has been shut down, disintegrated. There's not even cotton threads anymore, you know, and it's like you're just in this like, did I make the right decision? I don't know. What am I doing? I'm on my own. All the feels, okay? You question everything, but you don't go back because you know you're meant to be here. But you will feel all the feelings, right? You will feel them all. This adrift is not that you are lost. Like, as I said, it's okay to feel that way. But when you know on a deeper level, you're recalibrating because you've stepped away from what you don't want. You're in this space of the current now taking you. Don't know where it is. Let yourself drift, okay? And let yourself, like, it's like you'll just adrifting, letting a higher force take charge for a time. You've done everything. You've tried to control situations in the past. You gave it your all. You forced. You did everything. You did everything because you wouldn't have arrived here in the, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore and I'm lost and did I make the right choice? You wouldn't have arrived here if you didn't try everything. Otherwise you'd still be over there. Because you know when we know a situation's not right, but we will make sure we've tried every avenue. Well, usually, this is what I do with my clients. I'll make sure we've like crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, like so that when you leave, you know you tried everything so you don't go back, okay? Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't do that. So you know that you're in the right place, okay? And when you're over here, you could look back and say, yeah, I was trying to control the situation, but really, maybe you were, but really you were just making sure that you did everything. So once you got here, you know you tried everything. And what happens now is the grief. What happens now is the grief. What happens now is the grief. Let God take you to the next step. Let the current take you in this adrift so that, you know, it's like you drift and then you know how like you'll either hit up against a shore and you're like, oh, I can get up now. Oh, this is where I've landed on this island. Or you'll hit another current and it'll take you like a friggin', what's it called? Like a water slide, a fun water slide. And then you arrive at your destination. You know, it's just like drifting. Oh, little current. Oh, moving. Oh, drifting again. Okay, I thought I was on like, okay, drifting. Okay. Here. Oh, drifting. Okay, and then you reach shore. And then your new life can begin. You are not lost. You are recalibrating. Changing direction with ease. I'm like, fuck ease. It's really fucking hard, actually. It's really hard. Everything needs reassessing. It's okay if you don't know what the reassessing or how things are going to work now until they work. Like I always say to my client, right? You know, my clients, but there's one I've been talking to in Helping Our Trust Intuition, which is so fucking on point. And, you know, it's like, it's interesting, right? Helping people trust their intuition, it's about feeling safe in your power. It's about feeling safe in making the decisions for your own life because society's trained to not make decisions for their own life. For 12 years, sometimes 24 years, we are put into institutions so that we listen to other people and not ourselves. Like from a psychological perspective, on an actual scientific psychological perspective, it takes 20 years for a human to change. 20 fucking years. Give yourself a break, guys. Give yourself a break. Like, do you know when you're like making changes, like, and doing this work or whatever it is, like, you know, like, and we're like, oh my God, I'm still working on stuff and there's still trauma. Like, there's always layers, okay? There's always layers at every level, but like, hear me out. Like, hear me now, I want to say, is on a psychological, scientific development level, like, it takes 20 years for a human to change. Isn't it interesting that they keep us in institutions for 18 to 24 years? What an interesting concept about societal conditioning. Wow, just takes another, right? So, be okay with change, be okay with not knowing where you're going, be okay with getting clarity and then the current takes you somewhere else again, okay? And be okay with it not feeling like ease because most of the time it's not. And be okay with trying to figure out a new structure after something that was working doesn't work anymore and just taking the time to, look, the bottom card that's jumping out at me from that mermaid deck that I got is be present. Be present in the now. Yeah, be present in the now. Gift, treasure, revelation of own value, because what you're doing when you're adrift like this is being, you're learning to, you're learning your own value. Yeah. Guys, please watch out for scammers. They're not me, okay? I do my best to block them, etc. But it's, you know, just please ignore them. So it's like the thing that we can, I want to say the thing that we can hold on to when everything is falling apart is right now. And a lot of people are scared to be in the right now and trying to figure out things. And that's simply because the next wave of grief is coming up. Because when we're present in the now, we're consciously feeling. And when we've just moved away from something that we don't want to be in anymore, or we're changing our life in some way, shape or form, in the right now, there will be grief, right? Plain and simple. But there's nothing really simple about grief. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to finish this collective reading with, you know, it was change direction with ease. It was reassess your schedule, projects, fine tune things. and adrift in shallow water or adrift in deep water, as I just pulled from that other card. It's really important. And then the bottom card of this deck, interesting that I was talking about the full moon. So we're in new moon cycle. It's the perfect time to set intentions. And I want to say, because we're on an eclipse, it would be a very powerful time to set intentions, because by April next year, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, April. Sorry, maths was not my strong point in school. English, like ducks of the school. So yeah, but not maths. So bear with me. That's why I write books. I don't do maths. So in light of the moon, a full moon can shine light on what you've been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. So new moon to full moon, but also like we're in new moon now, and I was talking at the start of this live stream about the full moon on the 29th, which is also an eclipse. And I feel whatever intentions you set now will, like, as I said, eclipses last for 6 months. So it's kind of like, what do you want to manifest by the April eclipse season? Like, what, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, work it, you know? And as I said, like, make a wish, but take action in the new structures that are going to help ground in the next growth cycle, There, collective message done. If that's all you had time for, thank you for being here. If you want to work with me one-on-one, send me a private message. I'm extending the secret offer for another 48 hours because I've been busy restructuring things. I've been living what I teach, right? The secret offer, because I passed 5,000 subscribers, I'm talking YouTube channel, not yet. I'm talking, oh my goodness, my mind. I'm talking Instagram. I just surpassed 5,000 followers on Instagram, and to celebrate, I released my secret offer, and it's $5,000. You won't know what it is until you join the secret offer, or there'll be no point in calling it a secret offer. But you guys know that I always over deliver, and yeah, so if you want that, comment secret and I shall send you the details. If you'd like to book a private psychic reading, just comment psychic below and I'll send you the details for that too. Also, Trust Your Intuition is open. That's my 9-month certification program. It's open now, but we start that next year. It's a 9-month course. Like, this is like my heart and soul. This is everything. Like, you know, it's like intuition is like this because of what I teach in Trust Intuition. So, and this is a certification. You don't have to do the certification part, but it's there and you've got lifetime access. It is like a healing process. Like, we go through and you heal. So you understand the intricate nature of what it is to be able to be an intuitive healer and life purpose activator for a client, for someone. Like, the reality is, guys, is that you do this work all the time. You just don't get paid for it yet. Right? So if you'd like the details of Trust Intuition, just comment trust below. And every time Trust Intuition is open, my 12-month mentorship is open, which is Life Purpose Accelerator. So you get Trust Intuition included and you get to work with me privately for 12 months. So if you'd like to step into my inner circle, which is what it is, the Life Purpose Accelerator, just comment accelerator. And really, that's the place you want to be. That's the place you want to be. All right. So thank you for waiting until I, number one, did the collective reading message and also didn't comment yes yet. So now we can comment yes. So the way I work my psychic readings on live stream right now is by commenting yes. Yes, please, Hannah. Yes, yes, please, Hannah. Whatever you want to say. Yes. But just do it once. I see all your comments and then I'll have like a list of yeses and then I intuitively scroll through and I pick somebody. Obviously, I'm not going to get to everyone because there's like 100 people online. So thank you for being here. But if you listen carefully, there will be a message, especially if you're choosing to stay, and intuitively see if you get picked as well. Okay, so who is this message for? Covered in goosebumps. This is a strong message coming through already for somebody. I pulled this card in a reel recently. You know my little reel readings? I do them daily for you. Heideke's door, knocking at the door. Okay, who's this message for? Okay. So Kim Roan. Are you paying attention? Are you going to step through the portal? Now, given what the collective reading just was, I feel like you're bumping up against a shore and you're not getting up to get out of the water. There's a knock at the door. Are you going to take it? And it's interesting because the Grandmother Magics is the bottom card of the deck, and it's I comfort you. It's like, and the thing is leading on from what we just talked about, and like when we're in that, I don't know where I'm going, I'm just adrift, I'm trusting my soul, I'm taking the next step, I know where I'm going and I don't. It's like, I want to say there is a time and a space, and I guess it's a consciousness shift. Like when we've been in something we don't want it for a long time, and then we're in a place where we don't know what we want, but we know we're healing, we know we're recalibrating and all of that, and then we're hitting up against a shore, there's a process in getting up out of the water and going, oh fuck, I'm here already. Like we can just be going, and then we just don't realize we've arrived at the shore. And that's a bit of a switch, because we're just coping, we're just trying to get out of what we don't want. We're just, it's like this survival mechanism, I guess. And I want to say to you is like, it's time to get up out of the water. It's time to like step up onto the shore. And it's so interesting because there's where is that? There's a butterfly that's flying free, if you may. And then there's a butterfly that's in the ball. And this is where I feel like you're half in, half out. And I'm like, can you go all in? Like, it's time to pick yourself up out of the water and go all in. But can you also, like you have to choose that, right? Because I feel like you're conscious that the new reality has started or you're on this shore, but have you actually chosen it? Be honest with yourself. Yeah, and so it's kind of like, where do you need to, how that other card was like time to reassess goals and projects. It's kind of like, where do you need to be honest with yourself in the essence of like, what's not okay that you're trying to talk yourself into, like, it's just okay, but actually it's not okay. Yeah, and this is where I feel it's like the half in, half out. Like, what is it that you're, I want to say secretly annoyed about, but not, maybe it's not you're not sure what to do about it as well. And so this is the fresh air, and this is taking a break. So taking a break, as well as obviously getting outside, fresh air, exercise, like shifting your routine. And so I think that's going to help you get up out of the water, if we're using that analogy, right? It's kind of like take a break, step back, but just, and I also feel with this card too, it's also like, you're so aware of this, half in, half out, if you may. You're so aware of, like, you're honest, like you're very freaking clear about it, right? But it's also like, I want to say it feels like not the right time to make a decision. Isn't that so interesting? It's like, get up out of the water, shift, like do all these things, but also it's not the right time. And I feel it's like a divine timing. Oh, that's what I was saying about my client. And it's sort of like it's like, sometimes we think we're not trusting our intuition, okay? And we're like, oh, but what's the answer? And what's, but the thing is that when we know the answer, we know the answer, right? And when the answer's not there, it's because it hasn't come in yet. And this is where I feel for you, Kim, it's like you're conscious of half in, half out. You're conscious of like, am I going to step through the portal into my new life? Am I being honest with myself? Like, I feel like you got that conscious awareness, but you sort of brush it aside because, I don't know, sometimes making changes is really big, yes. But also, when we get intuition to do something, it's a big fucking yes. We're like, oh my God, now's time to take action. And usually we're not even saying that to ourselves because we've just taken the action. Like, we just do it. So when it feels like we're not trusting our intuition, actually we are, because we're waiting for that yes. We're waiting for that, oh my God, this is it. We're waiting for that path. And when we're trying to force a path that's not ready yet, or trying to bust through yet, or like, we know we need to do it, but sometimes we can try and we're knocking at the doors and it's just like, it's not fucking working. And by the way, a lot of people think that that's a sign to give up. Okay, and it's interesting, at the start of this live stream, I just got that message and I saw that guy's post around, you know, like this is the make or break year for a lot of people. It's like you either see the hard times as gaining wisdom and clarity and what not to do, and the people in your circle and who's in alignment and who's not, or a lot of people take it as a sign, I'm not meant to do it. I'm like, fuck, if there was like, if I had taken all the little like technical glitches or shit's not working or not's happening, like, or all these things, right? If I took all of those as like, oh, I'm not meant to do this purpose work, oh, I'm not meant to do, like, fuck, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have turned my company from absolutely nothing into a $1 million business. Like, I wouldn't have, right? When there's a knock at the door, you're busting through to a new reality. You might be very clear about what to do, what not to do, like, you know, but when the door's not fucking opening, it's just not time. It's like stage 1. Stage 2, you're very clear of it, but you're stepping back and waiting for the, fuck, it's time to go and do this now. Yeah? Kim, I just pulled one more card for you. There's nothing to worry about, see? If there was confirmation about what I was just talking about, I'm like, you just got it. You just got it. There is nothing to worry about. And you said you're not giving up. Awesome, right? And this is the thing, it's kind of like, you know, and I always say to my clients too, when they go through certain things and they're like, it's not busy or it's not working. And I'm like, well, when you are busy in a few months, what do you wish you'd like got done now? Because when it's quiet, right, or when it's not working, it's like, okay, well, what do you need to do to recalibrate? What do you know, when you are busy and you're like fucking flat out and you're like, fuck, I wish I got that organized. Now when you're quiet, so to speak, this is the time to do that, right? For example, I'm just giving another random example. I got the family coming for Christmas, like, you know, and it's kind of like, okay, well, you're going to clean up your house and clean out the shed or do whatever you're going to do before they get here, or are you just going to, like, you know, wait till they get here? Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It's like, you're going to prepare, aren't you? So it's kind of like, it's not, you know, it's not that it's not working. It's just that it's like waiting for the right timing is very different to not taking action on things we need to know. Like, you know, there's a divine time waiting for that door to open, right? So yeah. Okay. You're just around the corner. Exactly, right? Exactly. Okay. That was Kim's message. Can I have another round of yes, pleases, please? Cynthia says, like we are waiting, holding for something. Yeah, and do you know, as a collective, we've all felt that. You know, like seeing that guy's post, I've seen many people talk about it this year. Similar message. I've seen like other tarot card readers that I watch say similar things, and there's one in particular that's really like up on the astrology, because I'm not, like, I don't understand astrology. I've never studied it per se. Know a little bit, but and so, like, oh my gosh, this person, there's scammers, guys. Please just ignore them. It's like they just create a new IP address and just do the same fucking thing. It's so ridiculous. I reckon they're paid to do it, to be honest. Anyway, getting off track. Don't let me open that can of worms. Not right now. Not on this live stream. Okay, sort of. Oh yeah, so the collective holding. Yeah, and I feel like that's going to switch soon. So Brenda says, oh look, here's another one. Just give me a sec, guys. Just let me sort these out. So if I can So yeah, if you get a message, just, you know, they're hounding you, they're like kissing you. Give me your fucking credit card. No. Okay. All right. I am reading the yes pleases, by the way. I'm just getting rid of this bullshit on my page. Okay. You're so very welcome, Kim. You're so welcome. Okay. Yeah, so the collective waiting. And like I said, it's not, yeah, it feels like waiting. It feels like things are not working. It feels like that. But the thing is that with the like birthing of a new reality, it's like the contractions in birth, right? And it's like, it seems like it goes away and it stops, but it's just another wave coming. It's like the breath in, the breath out. The tide goes in, the tide goes out, right? It's day, it's night. And it's like, this is the cycles we learn to ride the waves. pregnant mother will get ready for the birth, right? Seems like nothing's happening, but there's a baby growing in there and there's lots of things to prepare for. Rebirth, exactly. Yes. Okay. So who is this card for? If you guys would like a private psychic reading, just comment psychic below. And we also have Trust Intuition. Super Early Bird is open, right? So we might start in February, but there's incremental investment increases. So Super Early Bird is now closes at the end of October. Then we will go into Early Bird in November, and then it's full investment price from the 1st of December. So if you want the details of Trust Intuition, it's my 9-month certification course. It's internationally recognized, so you'll come out the other side as an internationally recognized, what is it called? Sorry, again, my words. Your certification is an intuitive healer and life purpose activator. I've been doing this stuff for 20 years, 18 years to be precise. So this is like my life's work. And if you want clear, accurate intuition to be able to work with this in your clients to help release trauma and understand the intricacies of how that plays into manifesting our reality, this is the one for you. Okay. So comment trust below. All right, so this message is for Gemma. Is Gemma Wilson still here? Oh, I'm covered in goosebumps. This is such a strong message. Okay. Just gonna see if Gemma Wilson is still here before I read. This might as well just be a continual collective reading. No, I literally pulled 5 cards for you. So what's interesting, so Gemma's here, awesome. What's interesting is Blue Crab is the overlying card. So this is the saltwater oracle. I've been using mermaids, whispers of the ocean, saltwater. I think I need to go to the beach. I haven't been to the beach for a long time. Okay. Allowing new experiences into your life takes great strength. And it's interesting, like allowing new experiences into your life takes great strength. Like, hello. What have we just been talking about on this live stream? Allowing new experiences takes great strength. We didn't talk about strength, but it does, right? That's what we're talking about. What's interesting? It's Blue Crab, right? It's called the Blue Crab. But the first card that I pulled, which is technically the past card, is the Blue Heron. And look at this, like these cards are so beautiful. Like it's such a balance, right? And Blue Heron is so significant to me for a long time in trusting your intuition. Like if I see Blue Heron, it's kind of like stand up for your beliefs. Do not falter on what's right for you at this time. And this says take action when the opportunity presents itself, which it feels like you have taken action from something because this is in the past. And then the blue and the blue as the overlying card is like, you know, allowing new experiences into your life takes great strength. And that's the thing, when people are just not ready to deal with the fallout of the changes that happen, right? When you're making changes. So what's in the right now card for you, Gemma, is the Sea of Glass, embracing the beauty of stillness and inner peace. And so you know how we were talking about, you know, the adrift. So obviously you're going through a big change as well, because there's also the stillness in, you know, in amongst so much change is a stillness. And that stillness is the undercurrent that you know your intuition is guiding you through this. It can be absolutely chaos. We can be feeling all the emotions. And then within that is this deep inner peace because we know we're on the right path. Might not look like it from the outskirts, but we know we've made the right choice, right? And this is where I feel like deep inside of you, you are really strong. Blue Crab, you are really strong deep inside of you. And I think sometimes you forget that. I think that, you know, sometimes you get swept up in the current, you get swept up in the hurricane, which is very normal to do, we're human, right? But it's like, I feel that this message for you, Gemma, is to really look at, covered in goosebumps, look at how strong you are as waves of truth bumps, they call them, coming through for you. In like, it's like I said, it's normal to get swept up and forget who we are and how strong we are in things. And for some reason, I'm getting the message, if you haven't read my book, I think my book would really help you. I don't know you, but I'm just getting that message for you. Because it's like reminding you who the fuck you are. Because I think when we go through big change, we forget that. Or when the world is pulling at all our strings, or when everyone is, I don't know if trying to pull you down is the right thing. Everyone is testing you. It just feels like everyone is like trying to pull you in a different pathway, but you've made a choice, Blue Heron, to come back into your truth, right? Into your center. And that's why it's like this center, like the orbs, right? It's like your deep strength, and it's like everything is supporting you to do this, even though everything is like trying to pull you away from it. Do you know what I mean? And that's normal with change. Like, check out this balance. Like, this is the next card for you. And look, like Blue Heron's on that side, and then this balance is on this one. What does it say? Reflection. You are a mirror reflection of the world around you. Do you accept its deception? Like deception of you. Deception of you. But how interesting, it's like balance and balance. So it's like this stillness. Oh my God, like stillness in the middle, and then these two balance cards. Like, for real? That's pretty cool. Like, do you need any more confirmation, or? I love it when cards come out and like mirror beautiful things. Okay, what you're hoping for and what you're scared of. Beautiful Nautilus shell. Pay attention to divine signs and synchronicities. And this is where I was like, I think you're forgetting who the fuck you are. I think you're forgetting your power. I think you're forgetting, you know, and like I said, it's normal to get swept up, but it's like, this is your reminder to remember who the fuck you are, right? So pay attention to the signs and synchronicities. And it's so interesting, like this Nautilus shell, as we know, it's like the spiral, right? And as we go up the spiral and we're going through our growth and evolution, I don't know, they say it's a spiral, seems like it at times, because we go around and it's like the same shit, different story, different actors. As my client said the other day, I'm like, that's so brilliant. It's like a brand new series, different actors, same stuff, same story, right? And when we go up the spiral, same shit again, but different story. But what I like to see it as is we go up, and it's an essence of trusting our intuition. So we go up a spiral and we're like, oh, been here before. We might go into it a bit and we're like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. And we don't go into it like we did down here. But it's the same stuff, but we're not heading to, no. And then we come up the next spiral and we're like, oh, I know what this is about. I'm not even going to entertain it this time. And then we keep going up. And then it's like, oh, look at it over there. Oh, I'm over here this time. Oh, and then we come up and it's a whole new dimension. And that's where the breakthrough happens. That's where like, you know, that's where it really pushes through to the next like frequency, right? So you might see a lot of birds around at that time. And it's interesting, like the blue and the blue. And I meant to say there's something with blue for you. I'm not sure what that is. And then the final outcome card is soul recognition. There are souls moving towards you who will divinely help you on your path. Maybe this reading is for you. And you know how I just said, like we go up a spiral and then it gets to the point where we just shift to the next dimension, right? And this is where I feel this is like a whole new frequency of people coming in, whole new reality, a whole new energy. And I want to say, like, remember who the fuck you are, because you're being guided like by something so amazingly huge right now. Like the balance with that, like that's so phenomenal. I love that so much. I love it. So it's like trust, and I want to say trust the people that come around you, quote unquote, out of the blue, the soul recognition. I want to say you can trust them. And it's sort of like with what we've been through, we might not, you know, we might not trust, but at the same time, we know we've gone up spiral and it feels different, even though we're not sure, but it does feel different. And it's like, this is what you can trust, because you also know when it's not right. That's why you don't do it anymore. You know? Always good to remember. So that was for you, Gemma. Cynthia says, so looking forward to seeing this breakthrough in the beginning. Yeah. And so, you know, when we're feeling all this, guys, also remember, look, and I just shuffled again and this came out, I don't know, this big balance going on for you. Like you're healing the divine feminine and masculine within yourself, Gemma, and that changes your whole reality. This just sort of shuffled and stood out. As I said, it was talking as well, the dragon, seahorse, bringing into balance the divine masculine and feminine aspects of yourself. I'm like, do you need any fucking more balance? Like, like, you know, like what did we just talk about? Yeah. So yeah, really looking at that. And the bottom card of the deck again, after I just shuffled, is another balance. Like, hello. And the vortex, calling back your power. Your higher self is bringing in all you need to support you. And that's the thing, right? First message for everyone. It's like, you know, when we do step onto the path, it's like remembering and trusting that, you know, like we are on this thing. And you know what I really, covered in goosebumps. I really feel as a collective, and this is why I also feel that collective pause is like that everyone's fucking feeling it. Everybody is feeling it, especially this year. And it's so interesting. I saw 2024 as the black line, and it now makes me wonder, you know, like what I was just about to say is like there's so many fucking people awake now, okay? And when there's so many people awake, it gets to a tipping point, and there's kind of like, you know, I feel as a collective, we're at this standstill, because what did I just say? When we're giving birth to a new reality or a new relationship or a new career or a new whatever it is we're birthing, business, whatever, it's like there's this sort of like pause phase, and then it pops into a new reality. And this is what I feel as a collective we're in, right? And this is where it's like keep turning up, keep trudging the mud that it sometimes feel like, or, you know, whatever it is. And it's like because we're about to pop into that. So interesting. And I'm so curious about next year, but also that's what I was going to. It's like there's so many people awake now, and reality is shifting because of it, yeah? And so a lot of, you know, a lot of space is around, like, because there's not only so many people awake now, there's so many people that have left unhealthy situations and have, you know, done a lot of work and or leaving it. And so because there's so many that are doing that and waking up to the toxic stuff in whichever area of their life that is, there's so many, like it's a tipping point of that. So of course reality is going to change. Of course things are going to look very different. And I want to say very rapidly, you know, like it's like the birthing of a baby, like the gestation of a baby takes 9 to 10 months. The actual birth time is quite traumatic and messy and, you know, all the things, of course, like, and, you know, a huge energy motion thing to push the baby out, so to speak. And nature does that. We don't fucking do it. Nature does its own thing with hands off. Like it does. The baby grew without you doing anything for 9 to 10 months. You also don't need to birth it. It will come out because this is creation. Nature makes things like grow and expand. And so it's like, you know, and that's quite like, you know, huge energy for this like peak, and then being like in a moment, the baby's here and it's like a whole new reality. And this is where it's kind of like everything the past few years for society and whatever is like being gestating, you know, and then it's like coming to this crux point. Maybe that's what 2024 is, or, you know, and everyone's sort of waiting, and then it's like, woof, like, you know, it's going to be high energy stuff. Like now I'm sort of talking about this, I'm like, fuck, is it kind of makes sense, right? And it's like, you know, it's going to be quite intense, and then woof, like, and then all of a sudden the new reality is here. It kind of makes a lot of sense now. I just said it like that. Interesting. All right, if you guys would like a private psychic reading, just comment psychic below and I'll send you the details for that. Trust Intuition is open. It's my 9-month certification program. This is where you come out the other side as a certified intuitive healer and life purpose activator. This is everything for me and for you and for the collective and humanity, because everybody's waking up, understanding that the systems in society are not working and people need you as a healer. You do this work anyway, you just don't get paid for it yet. And in the next 5 to 10 years, especially by 2027, this is the work that people will be looking for, because this is the work that works and this is the work that actually heals. So if you have a calling to step into this in a professional way, Trust Intuition is definitely for you. So comment trust below. I'll send you the details for that. My secret offer expires in 48 hours. I did extend it because I've been like recalibrating stuff behind the scenes. So send me a message. Oh, sorry, no, just comment secret below and I'll send you a message with the details. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I need to go and speak to my clients now. I shall see you guys very soon. Thank you for being here and I love you guys. Bye.